Guys, are you ready for one of the best? Is this the best common class card of all time?
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Best common class card of all time, all metas, any.
Yep.
Like any.
Because
Best
Defile
common
used to
class
be
card ever.
it, but Defile was what was it? What's a Defile? Defile's like actually in the live server now, right? Or is it not? No, Defile's not in the live server anymore. Damn. But Defile was like a 210 or 215 or something. Oh, and Defile's a rare. That's true. Anyway, let's do this. Hype.
All right, let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back. This is the final segment in the series. We are doing a preview of Ashes of Outland's Lightforge Arena tier list card valuation stream, presenting the scores from our algorithm, which has been built over like 5 years and it's kind of ridiculous right now. And we are doing Warrior now. There's a thing in the Warrior from Ashes of Outland that is breaking all sorts of records right now. This is gonna be, yep.
Yeah, if you guys thought, like, us talking about, it's like, oh, this is a 170, this is a 190, that's really good, and it is really good. Be prepared for something that is gonna blow all of those out of the water. We're talking best common class card of all time.
Yes.
Like,
also best rare class card of all time. I think some epic cards may have been rated higher than this at certain points in certain metas.
Yeah.
And legendaries certainly are above this because like we have stuff like Zephyrs. And of course Pyros, we all remember. But this, oh my god. Okay. Best common / rare class card of all times in any meta, right here, right now. Warrior, Ashes of Outlands, Imprisoned Gennard.
This is stupid.
Yeah, I don't. It's a 1 mana 2/2. It's a common. It's a 1 mana 2/2 demon, dormant for 2 turns. So it should have like a 3 drops worth of value when it pops out of dormant to be like a 100 score, right? But this is a 227, so you know it's gonna have more. What do you have instead of a 3/4 or a 4/4? Well, you only get a 2/2 body, but you also get a Fiery War Axe.
Yeah, that's so good. For 1 mana, so that's the thing, right? For 1 mana, it's so flexible, and when this awakens, it essentially has like some rush or initiative effect because of the weapon.
And the weapon will kill anything your opponent put on the board.
Yeah, so yes, you are essentially giving up some initial, tempo or initiative, but it's 1 mana. That's the thing. That's the stupid thing about it. It's 1 freaking mana.
So imagine playing this on 1, a Raptor on 2, and then a Spider Tank on 3, and then just getting a 2/2 to pop out with a Fiery War Axe on the same turn. You win the curve game. You don't necessarily win the game because curve is not as important now as it used to be, but you're definitely winning the curve game for the next like 4 or 5 turns.
Yes. So look, part of the thing, like, can you still lose the game because of all the swings and everything?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. We're not saying that this will 100% win you the game, but what the score does is say, how good is this in these situations, whether on turn 1 or whether on turn 4, turn 5, turn 7, etc., and how impactful is it for taking up 1 card and 1 mana? It's stupidly good.
Yeah. If you're wondering what Fiery War Axe is, it's like a 147, so it's basically a 150 by itself. And that's like, it takes 3 mana. This one takes 1 mana. You play it on a turn in which you probably don't play any other card anyway, like if you have it in your hand at that point. And even if you're playing this like in the late game, it's still got more card advantage than a Fiery War Axe, although it's lacking the immediate reach. So I'd still prefer a Fiery War Axe in the late game than this card. But But
But in the
this
early game, you much prefer
so
this.
much prefer. Like it's killer in the early game. And when you're looking at it from like a turn 1 perspective, let's say you don't top deck at turn 1. Let's say you top deck it on turn 3 and you play it with like a 2-drop. It's still going to ruin the whole entire curve for your opponent when it pops out like on turn 5. Like so silly.
Yep.
Oh, so silly. Okay, 227. Nothing's gonna beat it at common or rare. Defile was a 217, I think, or something like that. In most metas, it's different in every meta, but I don't think it ever hit a 227. And this is not a Defile. This is like just a very basic, you just play it kind of thing. All right, so just off the back of this card alone, Warrior is going to be ridiculous in this meta. But we are not done. The third best card in the meta for Warrior is also a Ashes of Outland card. This one's a 179. 179 means you should not, it means this card should not be printed. It is a Warmaul Challenger. 3 mana, 110. Battlecry, choose an enemy minion. Battle it to the death. It is an extremely highly rated card because you will be able to pick anything on curve and trade with it. If you get a 3/3 on curve, it will automatically win. A 3/4 it'll trade, a 4/3 it'll trade. If you pick a 2-drop, because they have a 2-drop on the board, it will eat the 2-drop and still be around with plenty of health. 4 health if it's a 2/3, 4 health also if it's a 3/2. So it is extremely good on curve. It can go through taunts. So if someone's hiding something behind a taunt, this is as good of a removal as any. Just extremely, extremely flexible card in the late game, in the mid game, and a super card if it's on curve.
This is really freaking good. I don't think people I see a lot of question marks and people are like some confusion in the chat right now. And then of course Booze was like, this is stupid. I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, well, it's just 1 damage. Okay, you know what this is? This is a 3 mana 110 with initiative. Holy
repeated
crap.
initiative.
What the heck? Like, how many stats are you supposed to get for 3 mana? You're supposed to get 7 stats, right? Distributed. It's like, you have your 3/4s. Okay, you get 4 extra stats and you give it initiative. If I just told you that, you'd be like, that's stupid. That's insane. Now, they give you a quote drawback, which is you have to fight someone. It's like, I forced you to have initiative. Oh no. And also, I tilt the stats severely towards defense. It's like, well, that doesn't really matter if you're adding 4 stats to it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look at all those scenarios. Like, remember, this is 3 mana. So, this is very different. Like, in terms of what exactly you're going to be attacking, right? If this were 5 mana or 6 mana, well, and it only had 1 attack, well, you're slamming into huge things by that point. So it better be like a 130 at that point in order to be decent. But yeah, it's 3 mana. So a lot of times you're taking out their 2, like what you can do is you take out their 2-drop and you're left with a 1/4. That's really good. A 1/4 is like not a good 3-drop, but it's acceptable, and it is ridiculously premium if you remove their 2-drop. Which,
because think about how a normal
3-drop
does remove their 2-drop. One, it has no initiative, so your opponent can react to it. So you're waiting for your opponent to not react to it. And if your opponent doesn't react to it, your 3/4 will end up being a 3/1 or a 3/2, depending on what trades into a 3/2 or a 2/3. Whereas this is a 1/4. So that's about even. And this one has the initiative, so your opponent can't screw with it, can't buff it, can't use a removal or like anything. You've taken away all of your opponent's options. And then you're still on curve as with the best 3-drops in the game.
It's just so flexible, so good. And if you're looking at the situations and once again, here's the thing. I think some people look at it and they're like, oh, it's terrible against the 5/5. Most 3-drops are terrible against a 5/5. I hate to break it to you guys, or something like that, right? Once again, look, it's a 3-drop, so you got to
Yeah.
compare it with other
Yeah.
3-drops.
Just because it has the stats of a 5-drop, but if you add all the numbers up, does not mean it's a 5-drop. It's still a 3-drop.
Right. So yes, for what it is extraordinarily good, and that's why it is like a 179.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, okay, maybe it's not this good and constructed. That's probably also one of the reasons. But like, this kind of ability, I think Blizzard is underrating. All right. Let's go down. Next card is 155, so still super good. Arcanite Reaper level, Twin Tyrant level. It is a Blood Boil Brute, 7 mana, 6/8 rush, but it costs 1 less for each damaged minion on either side of the board.
Yeah. So look, even if it was just a 7 mana 6/8 rush,
yeah, that would be like
decent.
that would be like a 125 maybe, like yeah, like 120, 125. But instead you're gonna gain like a mana or two off of it because you're like if your opponent's winning, like
it's not that hard to gain 2 mana from it. And then suddenly, if you have a 5 mana 6/8 rush, it's stupid, right? So it's a 155. It's just really, really, really good. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Cool. So those are your powerhouses for the warrior. You're gonna go down a bit, and we're gonna get to a 135 card, which is around a Arathi Weaponsmith, so still like super good. It is Corsair's Cash. Draw a weapon like from your deck, and then give it +1/+1. So yeah, I mean,
good.
Yeah, giving a weapon +1/+1 is good. That's an upgrade. Literally an upgrade, which is 1 mana and a card, and then for 1 extra mana, you get to draw the weapon from your deck. Like, it's not the most amazing card, but it gives weapons consistency, and yeah, I mean, it's good.
Cool.
Next, 128 is Bladestorm. This one's an epic, 3 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions, repeat until 1 dies. So
how exactly did we do this one?
Oh, we picked this number.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna leave it as guess which one we pick, because I said at the beginning of the thing that there was one card we couldn't do with the algorithm, and okay, it's this one. It's like, you algorithm this, right? Like
I did. This is all right. So this is one in which, like, I think we like to be very transparent about everything. This is one in which it's really hard for, like, you might think other cards are harder for the algorithm to do than this one. This one is really hard. This one's much harder than those like weird effects that you think are weird, but actually the algorithm is like really elegant in solving. This one's actually like really, really hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I could be wrong with this. I could be very right with this. I don't really know. I'm also delirious right now, so me telling you what I thought of when I was coherent.
It's not just you. You, me, and the tech director came up with this number separately, and it was all the same number, plus or minus 5 points. So I was pretty confident putting it there.
We might have just picked a number that felt safe-ish. So
yeah,
look,
that's true.
This is one. I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys. This is like, for all of the other numbers, we ran through the algorithm, and then we double checked. This is one in which I'm like, 128. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe this ends up being like the best card ever. I don't think it will, but I could be wrong.
Yep.
We'll see.
It's epic. It can function as a hard removal if you have nothing on the board. It's kind of flexible, kind of not flexible. Like, what you really want to do with it is like you're fighting for the board, and then you hit stuff and get to like exactly the right number. Like, it has that. Someone in the chat mentioned it has that defile math kind of feel to it, where you want numbers to add up to certain things.
Yeah, but it's got that defile-esque thing to it, but very different, right? Yeah. In terms of continuing versus stopping, that's literally the opposite. So it's the same mechanism, but the exact opposite. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. So okay.
All right. Next warrior card is the 121 Bone Chewer Raider, 3 mana, 3/3. Not good, but 121 is pretty good. So what happened? Battle Cry. If there's a damage minion, again on either side of the board, gain +1/+1 and rush. There will be damage minions, like quite frequently. So this is gonna be a 4/4 rush a lot of the times. Maybe not on curve, but a lot of the other times.
Yeah. So this thing is, once again, 3 mana 3/3 suck. This is gaining what, like 40 points over a 3 mana 3/3?
Yep.
Something like that. Which makes sense. Like, it's not almost always, but close to almost always gonna or you can manipulate it a decent amount of times to be a 3 mana 4/4. It's good. It's really good.
All right, now we have another common card, Sword and Board. 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion, gain 2 armor. Nothing much to say here. It's a 1/10.
It's a 1/10. It's fine. Moving on.
Moving on, we have Scrap Golem. 97, it is a rare. This is where, like, your Scarlet Crusader is.
We don't have the image, do we?
We do not have the image for Scrap Golem. What is Scrap Golem, Herbs?
That is a great question. I'm definitely.
Oh, there we go. The image loaded. Scrap Golem is a 5 mana 4/5 taunt, death rattle, gain armor equal to the minion's attack. So it's like what's that one?
Rotten Apple Bomb.
Yeah, it's like a Rotten Apple Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine, but fine doesn't cut it anymore.
Fine is terrible nowadays.
Why aren't you a 5 mana 5/6 taunt, death rattle, gain armor equal to this minion's attack, also destroy enemy hero?
All right, that's the warrior stuff. The Warriors really got a lot of good stuff here. I mean, they always kind of get good stuff nowadays, and yeah, it's gonna be their stuff that they got are flexible. Imprison Gnarg is flexible. War Maul Challenger is flexible. Blood Broil Brute is flexible. It's just all flexible stuff that works in anything you want to build with Warrior, which is great because Warriors want to be flexible. All of your weapons can go face or remove stuff on the board. You don't want the decks to go too fast because it's bad in this meta, but you don't have the card draw that'll let you like keep up with people like really deep into the late game, and you also don't have the hero power that allows you to do that because your hero power adds no like card advantage. So you do have a timer on you. You're not a rogue, you're not a demon hunter, but you do have a timer on you, and that's why you need the cards to be flexible. Because when you want to punch face, you have to be able to do it, or this warrior is not going very far.
No.
Yeah. So that's it for warrior. Yeah.
Legendaries.
Legendaries. Oh, that's right.
Let's go through one of the crappiest legendaries.
Which one is? Oh God, I think this may be the crappiest legendary of the set.
I don't know. Bulwark of Azeroth.
Can I just start with I love the design? I love everything about this card except that it sucks.
Other than the fact that it's pure shit, it's cool. All right, look. 3 mana for a 1/4 weapon. Whenever your hero would take the damage, this loses 1 durability instead. You can tank a lot of damage, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually tank damage. It's fine.
It's a Light's Justice otherwise.
It's not like... So, it's a 59, which is not like complete trash tier.
Yeah.
Health does matter, but this also takes up your weapon slot, which you don't want it taking up because you're a warrior. And also, it just sucks. Okay, I don't need more analysis. It just sucks. I don't know. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. Cool.
Okay.
And yes, guys, we understand how it is significantly worse than Light's Justice. So, as you see, its score is significantly lower than Light's Justice.
Light's Justice is like a 150, by the way, in this upcoming meta.
Yeah, it's very good.
Because for paladins, like tempo just gets like more and more important, and
right, it's so different. Like if you gave Light's Justice to Warrior, it would be different,
yeah,
right?
Light's
Like
Justice
this
is
is one
also
of those
crappy
things
in
where
Warrior.
even though both classes don't have pings, the way that paladins operate versus the ways that warriors operate, Light's Justice will be very different in warriors. But at the same time, yes, if you look at this, we recognize how much worse this is than Light's Justice. So its score reflects that. It is terrible.
All
It is
right.
so terrible.
And the last card in our review before we wrap this up, we went past 1 a.m., but you know what?
Oh
We
my
barely went
gosh.
past 1 a.m. We've done this to like 3 a.m. before almost. Of course, not starting as early.
Yeah.
It is a 4-drop Kargoth Blade Fist, 4 mana, 4/4 rush, so a good 4-drop.
Good 4-drop, yeah.
Yeah, and this is a 139, so it's a premium card. Death Rattle, shuffle a Kargoth Prime into your deck. What is a Kargoth Prime?
Kargoth Prime is an 8 mana 10/10 rush. Whenever this attacks and kills a minion, typically 10/10 rushes do that. Typically 10/10 rushes do that. Gain 10 armor.
Ooh.
So really freaking good,
Yeah.
guys. Like this thing is like, so you get the initiative and you're basically saying you got to play me on the board because I'm gonna out, like you can't really go face, right? Like you can't ignore this. You have to play on the board. Also, I just gained 10 armor immediately. Yeah, yeah, really good. Gaining armor is great. Initiative is great. The card that you're shuffling in your deck, we consider it a super duper premium card. So the initial card is pretty good. Like 4 mana for a 4/4 rush is like pretty good. But we've identified the fact that like what you're shuffling into your deck is a broken card, and it ends up being at around a 140. Yeah.